Tuhame Nairobi, wacha twende Laikipia.
Yes.
Okay. The man who wants to be the next deputy governor of Laikipia is with us in the studio. Michael WAIGWA, good morning.
Good morning to you and your team.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation.
Thank you.
That's the hot seat that you're occupying.
Yeah.
You are Ndiritu Muriithi's running mate for governor. You are not... Ndiritu Muriithi is the current governor.
Yes.
You are not the deputy governor.
No.
Okay, so explain this story.
No, you know... thank you very much again. The current deputy governor of Laikipia County is John Muriithi, and he decided to go for the Senate seat. I think after his 5 years experience as the deputy governor, I think he figured out that the county needs more oversight. Oversight. Of course, he then decided to run for Senate. We are friends with John Muriithi, so it's basically he wanted to go for something higher.
Okay.
And hopefully look at our county from the Senate.
Okay.
Yeah, so then the governor, of course, looked for me. We agreed, and I decided to be his running mate. Yeah.
Have you been working in the county government?
No, really. I've not worked for the county, never worked for the county, directly or indirectly. So, but of course, I've ran for parliament, Laikipia's constituency. The governor picked some of my qualities and thought that maybe we could work together. Yeah.
What made you go into politics?
Well, you know what? Politics is a very powerful tool to change the society. You can be the best presenter on TV, on radio, and all that, but you may not really. I'm not trying to belittle.
No. Please, I like the way you're going about it.
Yes.
Please,
but see, politics now gives you the ability to influence policy and change people's lives. You can look at healthcare across the country. If you're a member of parliament, you possibly can pursue laws that can assist our healthcare. If maybe your agriculture and transform many lives across the country. Yeah, so possibly being here, you're popular and all that, but politics gives you that mandate to change people's lives in a broad way. Yeah.
You kind of glossed over it and said, well, perhaps maybe he's seen some of the things I have done. He knows around. Specifically, you must have an idea as to why you have been the individual that has been chosen. Again, I think this is the third time I've said this today, is that they're looking, conversations that have been had saying the person you choose as your running mate matters in an election, matters as you're going forward in terms of if you do get this seat, the work that you will do later. So there must have been a little bit more than, maybe he saw what I did. What did you do that perhaps, it may have clicked in your head, it must have, as to why you were selected?
Well, I would think that, my expertise, I'm an agricultural scientist, I'm an agricultural expert, and I've been carrying out some projects across the constituency. I'm from Laikipia East constituency. The governor is from Laikipia West constituency. Laikipia West has the largest voter base, followed by Laikipia East, and then we have Laikipia North. So I've been running some projects mobilizing farmers to plant fruit trees, basically agricultural projects, mobilizing our people to do things that can put money into their pockets. So I am sure that the governor was impressed by that kind of work, because really we have a big rural population and our people are still hungry. And we need to figure out how can we put money into their pockets, food into their stomachs. So I'm sure he was impressed by that angle that I was bringing to the ticket. Our governor has done a lot of work, including doing rural roads, and our towns are much, much better and cleaner than they were 5 years ago. So now if you now put into that my agricultural perspective, how we can mobilize our rural areas, help our rural areas to grow, to produce food and money, that will now even make it better in his second 5-year term. Yeah.
There's always an issue of demographics and regional balancing and all. We had a conversation just before you came in with Philip Kaloki, who wants to be the deputy governor, running as Polycarp Igathe's running mate. Igathe, I mean, the politics of Nairobi. So Igathe, Jubilee, Kaloki, Wiper, Igathe, Kikuyu, Kaloki, Kamba, and then we have Sifuna from Western going for the Senate. There was all that balance.
Yes.
Does that play out in a county such as Laikipia?
Definitely. In fact, I would think that is the foremost parameter that the governor would use, any governor would use to know, to check who the running mate would be. First, of course, like for us, we're looking at the geography. We have 3 constituencies in Laikipia County, and I've already said that the populations are different. So Laikipia West produced the first governor of Laikipia County and the second governor also. I know in Laikipia East we've been trying to produce a governor. We've not been successful. But basically, when you have a governor from West, Laikipia West, the next thing to do is to get a running mate from Laikipia East or Laikipia North. Yeah, so that is the voter base that will be the first consideration. So Laikipia East has got about 92,000 voters. Laikipia West has got 110 or 20,000 voters. And Laikipia North has got about 50,000 voters. So obviously, the governor is looking for someone who can mobilize his base.
Bring the 92,000.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then what happens to the Northerns?
No. It's not a matter that the deputy governor must come from East. I'm sure there will be other considerations. The current sitting governor has got several ministers who are from Laikipia North.
Okay.
So really, we only have 2 positions we are looking at, governor and running mate. But there will be other positions that can be used to satisfy the other constituency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd assume that with all the other, how many other people are running for governor of Laikipia?
We have 2 horses, I would say. The current governor, Ndiritu Muriithi, and the former governor who was defeated in 2017. Then we have 3 others, 2 independents. 2 independents, I would think, and 1 running on Kenya.
Is any of this from Laikipia North?
In fact, none from Laikipia North. Yeah, none from Laikipia North. 2 are from Laikipia East, and 1 is from Laikipia West.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, there are 2 governor candidates from Laikipia East this time.
And 3 from Laikipia West.
And 3 from Laikipia West, yeah.
So the ones from East have their running mates coming from West, and vice versa?
Yes. In fact, the ones who are running, the governor candidates in East have picked their running mates from Laikipia West. Yeah, so it goes back to the numbers that you are bringing on the table, or you are likely to bring on the table. Yeah, so that is, I would think, the first consideration. Of course, this is not the only consideration that would be used. I'm sure in other counties, some are looking at gender. Like now, you can see, like at the presidential level, our Azimio function. As the Azimio coalition has basically picked Martha Karua, not purely on gender, but it has really changed the dynamics of the national politics. So there are many things that the governor would be looking at to pick the running mate.
When you say, I want to pick this up and then tie it in with, say, the position of deputy governors. When you say the Martha Karua's entry as a running mate to the presidential candidate of Azimio has changed things. In what way, in your opinion?
Oh, definitely. It has changed things because, one, Martha Karua on her own self, she's very capable. She has a track record. But then she's a woman also. And you know, in this country, we've not had a woman getting that close to power. So I'm sure there are people who will vote for Martha Karua, not because of being this or that coalition, but because of being a woman. I would think so. Possibly from even my wife would vote for her just because she's a woman. Yeah, so I'm sure she will, Martha Karua will tip the scales.
Will excite the women base.
The women, this is completely unusual. So for that coalition, for Azimio coalition, Martha Karua was not just a running mate, it was more than a running mate.
Okay.
Yeah.
See? Yeah. Your part 2 of the question.
Thank you very much. So now, when we come back to the gubernatorial race, what do you think it is, for instance, in your county?
Yes.
your coming in will help ignite the voter base so that they will want to give Muriithi a second term?
Yeah, one, I would think that, the governor will not just bring a running mate that is unknown. And in fact, that's our advantage right now, because I've been in politics. I've been doing my projects across Laikipia East. And the other horse has brought in someone who's completely unknown, in the sense that we cannot really trace. Everyone is trying to check who is this. You know what I mean? So basically, that alone will help my side, because there's someone they can associate with. The deputy governor is someone they can associate with. I've been with them. And the other thing, I don't want to say I'm not a youth anymore. I was a youth 5 years ago. So basically, but still,
It's there.
it's still there. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that's also another angle that, Vijana, like in Nanyuki town, they will associate me with them, So for me, I think that brings energy. And also we need a lot of energy in this campaign, because we have a lot of work to do. So that I believe this will excite Laikipia East constituents to vote for Governor Muriithi.
What's the election question in Laikipia this time? What is it? We look countrywide, it's about the economy. In some counties, it's about security, others, it's about land. What is the issue in Laikipia?
For Laikipia County, this economy has affected everyone across board, really, across the country. But the issues we are facing on the ground is everyone agrees that NM has worked in terms of the governor has.
NM is the governor.
Governor
Muriithi.
Yeah,
Okay.
he has completely outperformed his predecessor. In fact, many people would say the difference is like day and night. If you've gone to Nanyuki town recently, you go to Nyahuru town, you'll be surprised that every road is paved. There are no potholes in Nanyuki town. And he has also come up with more initiatives an initiative called Smart Town, where he's picked several towns or shopping centers and put in proper planning. You need tarmac, you look at drainage, sewerage and all that. And that has really excited the people. So even if there's no project that has reached your doorstep, you have traveled and you have seen for yourself some that has been done by the governor. So so the issue is, the main issue is that has the governor worked or not? Because it's so easy to compare the two, the current governor and the previous governor. Yeah. So,
but my question is,
yeah,
what is it that the people want? The governor could have worked, but has he worked in areas that they wanted him to work? What is it that the people want for the next 5 years from their county government?
No, the people, of course, one, we have had issues. There are several issues. One, maybe I can pick the issue of security. Security in Laikipia West, we've had issues in an area called Olmoran. And I know you also know this fact.
Yep.
So far, the governor has intervened, and now we have a police post or station. In fact, we will be having a, what do you call it, wilaya?
District.
District. Or a division around the region that we've had a lot of issues. So basically, the police are there.
So it's creating some sub-county.
Yes, to ensure that the government services are closer, and especially security services are closer to the people. Yeah. So, and of course, in coordination with the national government. But that is the area that has had issues.
Okay.
Yeah. The issue of water is a very big issue across the county, because our rivers have been drying up everywhere because of the prolonged drought. So then the biggest issue will be water, and then water for irrigation, water for food. And in the last 5 years since the governor got in, there are some water projects that he has put in that have really assisted thousands of people. So even on that one, we basically, the current governor has done his job. Of course, more will be done in the next 5 years should he get the role.
But would you say that this development record you speak of is felt in Laikipia North, East, West, and North. Because we had the MP for Laikipia North here, and what she told us was what amounts to a tale of woe. Roads being in a state that are deplorable, school, the provision of just basic education being again in a deplorable situation. Now, maybe from the time she came here until now, there's been improvement in it. But are there parts of Laikipia where there's a feeling among the people that they've been neglected? Because yes, as you say correctly, you look at Nanyuki, you look at Nyahururu, you look at Muriithi, there are changes. But what about those far-flung places that are not near the center of the big towns?
Because we're talking about a large county in terms of geographical space.
Let's look at this. Let's put it into context. What is the size of Laikipia? If you put Nairobi County, add Kiambu, Nyeri, Muranga, and even hive off some part of Nyandaro, that is what Laikipia County is.
All those are Laikipia.
Yeah, you put them together, that is the size of Laikipia. So Laikipia is very expansive. And Laikipia North, you know, the way that constituency was brought out, is a special constituency. You get what I mean?
No? Oh, what do you mean special?
In terms of, we are looking at, that is a word that I could have used. Maybe I'll pick it. But Laikipia North, if you look at the population, you see the population is very small. Basically, they had to be given a constituency for them to feel that they are represented. The numbers are not there, but still they were given that constituency. So that the national government services can come to them. Roads can. There's some roads that are being done already by the national government. You know, those tarmac roads are basically not the county government job. But there's some things that the governor is doing, like water. He has gotten water all the way from Meru County across a region called Shumvi, that is Ethi, and taken that water all the way to Doldo. Doldo is the capital of Laikipia North. So these are the kind of life-changing projects that the governor has been putting into place. And of course, also the MP, the sitting MP has done quite a lot of work on schools, very well done schools. On bursaries and all that. Yeah, so it will take time. And then I want also to look at how the Maram roads, of course, are done by the governor. But one thing that the governor has done or did is to use a equipment leasing program, where instead of the county having to buy equipment, the graders, the tippers, and the rollers and all that. So you basically able to lease them and reduce the cost of doing a kilometer of Maram. Before he got in, a kilometer of Maram was being done at 1.6 million. 1 kilometer, that is all the work, including grading and compacting. But since the governor got in with that project, he's able to do a kilometer of tarmac, of Maram at 800,000 shillings. So basically half, meaning he has paid for the lease, he has paid for fuel, he has paid for the allowances of the drivers, all that.
And the material and everything.
Exactly. At half the price that the former governor was doing the roads at. So now we're able to do more roads, more Maram roads, quickly. Okay? So now that will help us to reach as many kilometers as possible, many regions as possible. And if you go around Laikipia, you can see that that has been done quite well. You can basically not compare with what was being done before. Even the quality of the Maram roads. So we hope that in the next 5 years, and that's why we're asking the people of Laikipia to give the governor and his team another 5 years, and things will even move faster, because in the last 5 years we can already see signs of
there's been a difference.
Progress. Yes.
Michael WAIGWA is the running mate for Ndiritu Muriithi, Governor Ndiritu Muriithi, who's seeking re-election as the governor of Laikipia County. And Michael then would be the deputy governor should Ndiritu Muriithi be re-elected. We are talking about what a running mate brings to a campaign of a governor and what Michael is particularly bringing, and also looking at the plight of the people of Laikipia and what needs to be done. As we tell you shortly about Kenya Revenue Authority, when we come back out of this break, we've got to look at, like you've said, it's an expansive county. It has 3 constituencies. There's one constituency that forms part of the marginalized counties, constituencies of this country. And there's a lot that needs to be done. And maybe you can just give us what plans the administration of Ndiritu Muriithi has for this particular county, for this particular constituency, Laikipia North, marginalized, considered unequal from the other two constituencies, vast, and it's totally different. I mean, if you look at East-West and then you look at North, you're like, are we in the same county or not? So those are what we'll be talking about.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Ndiritu Muriithi is running mate for Laikipia gubernatorial race. Ndu, you had a question for Michael.
Right. So, I mean, I'm looking at how, bringing together the county seems to be what would be of importance, because we already say Laikipia East, we say Laikipia West, we say Laikipia North. But I also look at what has happened in the county economically. Would you say that it is enough? And then moving forward, let's now consolidate all these efforts as one. Is that where the importance is?
Yeah, I would say there has been good progress. And we're looking at the baseline of 2017. Everyone now can see there is progress. Of course, we can say that because also problems have been deep, we have a long way to go. Yeah, the most important thing for now is that the government has put things into process. We can see things, people can see, oh, this was done, this has been done. We are seeing signs here. So the most important thing is that we are moving forward fast. Yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay. Now, touching on something else, which has also been a really sticky point for a lot of folks, is that we're looking at, again, the geographical size of this county is huge. There's also been the issue of large tracts of land belonging to people who are not
the common man.
Indigenous Kenyans.
Indigenous Kenyans.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right? And it has been an issue. It continues to be one. It has been the cry of many people from the county and saying, unless you get somebody who's going to handle that, then you're going to continuously have a problem. We have had indigenous Kenyans say that their land has been either, number one, taken ancestrally, or number two, their cattle, which again is their bread and butter, then has also been taken. How then do you think this ought to be tackled?
Yeah, we have many ranches in Laikipia, very expansive ranches. And then we have the pastoral communities that rely on these grasses, to feed the animals. And in a situation like now, where we have had a lot of drought, persistent drought, we've seen many animals dying, And basically, there has to be a working relationship between the ranchers and the local communities. There has to be a cordial working relationship between the two. Ranchers are able to maintain their grasses very well. And the pastoral community, because, they don't have all the land, they move the animals. Over and over where they are pastures. So there is always those conflicts that they have put the animals into the ranches. But there's something that can be worked out between the ranchers and the local community. They can work hand in hand together so that it's a win-win situation for all of them. These guys have got large tracts of land. For example, I've had the governor proposing that, since the ranchers have the land and they have the resources also, they can vote for resources. They can invest in dams, for example. Invest in dams, get that water into these dams, and then sell the water to the county, for example, in a fraction. And this water can be used to reach many homes across the county. Kind of a public-private partnership.
So you set up the dams in your land.
Yeah, you are an investor.
As an investor.
Yeah, you have land, you have the means, you can set up a dam. Then you earn an income and the community benefits. There's also the issue of the pastures. The ranchers can also work out a formula with the county government that these pastoralists can also graze the animals across those ranches. Of course, possibly at a small fee, maybe. Today, if you want to buy hay, hay. You know hay. That's nyasi you put into
In bales.
Yeah. Initially, before this drought, it would go for 150 shillings. 150 shillings for one bale. Today, the hay is going for 500.
Whoa.
Yeah. So basically, what people are doing is just to try and survive the animal, make the animal survive. So, but ranchers have very good technologies that they can work with these communities and produce grass, okay, that can be sold to the county government, for example, all the communities at a very fair price. The other way is also extension. We can work with because this basically are farmers.
Yes.
These large-scale farmers.
Yep.
We can also work closely with them so that they can also kind of extend their knowledge. Like you can see an animal that has been bred inside the ranch and an animal that has been going around. You can see the difference.
You can just notice the difference
The
by
value,
looking at
the
them.
value. It's because we also need to have a limit as to how many animals a given land size can carry.
Yeah.
So we need to educate our people. But really, a cordial relationship between the two.
So it's collaboration between them.
Yes, collaboration.
And what has been lacking? Why has this never worked? Is it because the two always have an acrimonious relationship? Or is it that one doesn't see the value for the other?
You see, if the two sides have not agreed on something, and your animal and the pastoralists see the animals are dying one by one, they'll basically push the animals into the ranch. That's survival, okay?
Yeah.
And that's why we are saying that there must be a way that is cordial, that, okay, the rancher sees the need to assist this guy, and this guy also sees the need not to
accept assistance,
not to intrude, or
ranch.
there must be a limit as to how the two can cooperate. But for me, I've talked about water.
Yeah.
Water is we've gone through like Laikipia North with the governor, and you can see some areas where there's a lot of work that will have to be done because having these communities having their own water sources would really help them. Like water pans. Where do the animals drink? You know, even you know that you can stay. I don't know which is longer. How long can you stay without water?
Is it 7 days? Or?
No, long.
You stay fewer days without water than
with
food.
food.
Yes.
So water is life, literally. And I've seen already the governor doing some water pans across some of those paths. But really, the conflict is about property rights. Property rights. The ranchers have their property rights. The pastoralists really is limited on land as to where to put the animals.
Let me ask this question.
Yeah.
Is there any other county in this country that can compare with Laikipia when it comes to just the population of cattle?
Well, I would think, so I've not done this analysis, but I would think Sambulu, who are our neighbors, then Isiolo.
Would compete favorably.
Yeah, but all these animals are always ending up in Laikipia.
In Laikipia.
Precisely.
The
Now,
ranches.
the
Yeah.
Because the
why-
ranches are
The ranches are in Laikipia.
in Laikipia and they
ranches.
are well managed, so they
Exactly.
have pasture throughout.
you see, because they're well managed, it means they serve as the perfect pilot for things to be done for these other owners of
Exactly.
cattle.
How can we do things correctly?
Exactly. Now, why is it then, therefore, that you do not have the sort of setup that would ensure that not only does this happen, it caters for the area, for the drought seasons, but it also caters for a processing plant where cows now become a finished product that has more value to it.
Yeah.
You see, there's an entire economy in that region. This is really what I was getting at.
Yeah.
That seems to have been completely neglected. I'm saying it's an economy because we export meat.
Yes.
And yet, the one place where it's a region really, where we have most of our cattle, doesn't have the sort of infrastructure that you would expect.
Yeah.
The coast is a destination for tourists. Look at the investment at the coast.
Yeah.
We look at the game reserves that we have here. Look at the investment there. Okay. Now, here we have a region that has the most cattle in the country.
Produces Kenya's meat.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And yet, we are having a discussion about the things that prevent this very process from taking place and which guarantees that it remains a cottage industry. And yet, we have the raw material to actually make it a serious economic concern.
Exactly. So we need to turn these apparent impossibility into a possibility. Because, like, okay, you're saying that we have the choices of meat, but who is this in Laikipia who does that? Really, we're talking about meat that is coming from the ranches. Okay?
Yeah.
But the common man, the pastoralist, doesn't have that outlet.
And he could. There is no reason why he
It is
couldn't.
all possible
Yep.
with the right mindset, the right vision of our leaders. But Laikipia has had some of the most important leaders in this country. We have had cabinet minister, for example. These guys have been in power for years and years.
A speaker of the National Assembly.
Speaker of the National Assembly and all those. So I think I don't want to get into trouble, but the point is,
Brother, you are a politician.
yes, I don't-
You must quote a little trouble from time to time because you are representing your people.
yes, I don't, and that's why initially I was going for parliament, because really I know I could do a lot of things in parliament that could change the tides of our people, not just Laikipia but across the country. But now this is a bigger task that I have now to deal with my county in entirety. Let me say, there is a lot that we'll do in the next 5 years. I don't want to say many things, but there is opportunity. When I'm going around, I'm telling for example, the pastor community, I'm an agricultural expert. What I want to do is that tutafanya kazi na nyinyi. Hii mambo ya mifugo yenu kukufa, because like you could see carcasses everywhere. And you can imagine you work in Nairobi. A cow, how much do you think one cow is worth? It's a lot of money. So these people are ideally very rich people, but they are impoverished by
That wealth
weather.
is wiped out.
Exactly.
just in
And no
one
one
season.
is really looking into their issue. If you lost your money in the bank, if you found you have $1 million off the bank, what would you do?
There are structures.
You'd be in the same
There are
The
structures in
pastoralist
place to
is
take
losing
care of
those millions because of drought. So there should be a lot of investment in agricultural extension, in water infrastructure. Okay? What I mean about agricultural extension is basically training our people. Instead of having 1,000 animals, you possibly could the pastures could maintain 500. You are trained as to how you go about it, and you sell those animals at a better price. So basically there's a lot of work to be done, both by national government and the county government. The current governor had started a project, I called it feedlots. Feedlots, working with the ranchers, that and the community, because they also have community land.
Yeah.
Like you can segregate a section or sections of these pastures. You don't allow grazing for some time, so that basically there is a growth of the pastures.
Yes.
Then you can also cut the grass, bale it, or even asking some people to invest in that kind of agriculture, where you convert your land into
a feedlot.
A feedlot, so that we can have these pastures cheaply.
All these things that you're saying, Michael, just like you're saying, people like yourself, who are agricultural scientists and others, have all these ideas. They have worked in the country, they've gone and taken these ideas to Botswana and the other countries, they've succeeded, but they somehow just never seem to work in this country. What, in your opinion, just from your own professional background and understanding the politics of our country, what is the problem? What is a stumbling block, for example, to establishing, proper feedlots and a proper value system for our livestock, such that we are able to produce more for the local market and to organize our export market? What is it? What's the issue?
I would say it's basically lack of leadership. That leadership has lacked here. That's what you're complaining about. So I would say, yes, as you say, like in Botswana, these people do their job very professionally. We have Kenyans, local Kenyans, you know what I mean, who've gone to Botswana and they have done their job well. Let me say, we've not had the leadership or the example that we can copy from our local leaders. That's what I can say. I don't want to impress you by saying that now if I'm elected, now I'll be the one who will transform and give the example. But it's leadership generally. There are so many other problems in this country, Many other problems we can also use the same. You can ask the same way.
And it will come down to leadership.
Leadership for me. So we need to get more and more people into leadership. And that's why I was telling you, politics is a tool that you can use to lead your people into, even may call it, greener pastures. And that's why if you have all those ideas, but you're sticking here or sticking in an office. You know, for me, I've worked before. I was the agricultural insurance manager at CIC Insurance Group. I've worked at ICA Lion, and somehow I still feel, yes, I was doing a good job, but I need to go out there.
It wasn't impactful enough.
Exactly. It was not impactful. Impactful. So that's why we're in politics, and I hope that, especially for me, because of my expertise, we can see what we can do in the next 5 years, specifically in Laikipia. To try and turn around the fortunes of pastoral communities and the agricultural communities in Laikipia, because it's not basically just pastoralism. Everyone is struggling. You have no food. You have 3 acres of land. If I asked you what you produced last year in terms of money and food, you cannot tell me. So people are lying on prime land, but they don't have there's no enterprise that they're in. They have no water. So if we give our people water, they'll be able to produce food. They'll produce things for the market. If we help our pastoralists also to take care of the animals with the right information and knowledge, they'll produce. There'll
be a change.
Yeah, that's true.
Michael, they say that all politics is local.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
But then there's still the national angle to Kenyan politics, especially at present.
Yes.
Laikipia County, even though it's in Rift Valley,
Yeah.
is considered one of the Mount Kenya counties.
Yes.
Now let's talk about the politics of Mount Kenya. They've produced 2 running mates for the main political contenders.
Yeah.
And there's an issue about that. Rigathi Gachagua on this side, and you said Martha Karua on the other side, and how they are energizing the ground. How's the ground in Laikipia? Is the ground in Laikipia Kenya Kwanza, or is it Azimio? Truthfully speaking.
Truthfully speaking,
Only.
I don't know. Maybe I can start with the Mount Kenya politics.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, we've seen polls over and over, and the Kenya Kwanza coalition has had a lot of inroads. Also, Ruto has had a lot of inroads in Mount Kenya area, and that we agree. But the tide is turning. That's for us. That's the most important thing. Yeah. For example, a while back, you would not have spoken about Azimio. You would not have spoken about. Everyone was mattering, So today we are confidently telling our people where we are. We are not hiding. Our posters have Raila on them. So we believe by election date, Azimio will have the bigger percentage of vote in Laikipia County.
So you're saying that there was a time, not Azimio, but there was a time you would not have been able to sell Raila in Laikipia?
Exactly.
Okay.
Let me ask the question, since we're there. Is it that you couldn't sell Raila or you couldn't sell Uhuru?
Is it that we could not sell
Raila or you couldn't sell Uhuru? I asked the question because yes, you understand exactly what I'm saying.
Yes. Let me tell you, it was difficult to say Raila because over the years we've been told all things about Raila, and our people could not separate politics and reality. You see, Raila Odinga, and we've been telling our people. Look at the track record of Raila Odinga. Is Raila Odinga a good man or a bad man? In fact, between him and Ruto, who is a good man to the people of Mount Kenya? And we can easily show. In 1962, when Raila's father was asked by the colonial government to form government, he said he could not form the government because Kenyatta had to be released. He is the leader. So you're telling our people, that is the first date that we have. We can put it aside. Okay. Then we came into 2002. Kibaki had tried to be president 97. He tried in 1997. Until Raila Odinga came, pulled all the brigade from Kanu and said Kibaki tosha. Kibaki will not have become president. That is another debt we can put aside. Then there is Ruto, who came the other day, last evening. That's what we are saying. Yeah, 1962 na hii ingine ya 202. Si tunaweza lipa hiyo kwanza. Hii ya jana jioni, we will still pay it along the way. You know what I mean? That one will pay, but along the way. But for now, we used to talk to say that Raila is Mutongori Ajamba. Yeah.
What does that mean?
He's a
Courageous
leader.
Okay.
So if we pay this, if we can afford to pay the 202 debt, we basically have sorted out the debt of 1962 just in one go. Then Ruto, maybe in the next 20 years or something, we can sort him. You know what I mean? So basically, what I'm trying to say is that. But since Kibaki was competing against Raila Odinga, there had to be a political angle to it. We had to tell our people, no, mtu ni mtu mbaya sana. Then Raila had to compete with Uhuru Kenyatta. At that time, ICC was staring at us. So we said, kama mnataka kufunga Uhuru, kujeni tufunge tukiwa the whole community. So there was a political narrative, and we depicted Raila as a very...
And obviously it was a very effective narrative.
It was very effective. But now, things are changing. Now look at Martha Karua in the mix. And I believe the least that will happen is a 50-50. Okay? The
50-50
least
what?
In terms of...
Vote split.
Vote split in Mount Kenya. Okay? But we know it will be a better outcome than that.
What makes you so sure?
Yeah, because we're on the ground, we are talking to people. If you see the meetings we are holding with the governor, and you say, Azimio, everyone is charged up, you know what I mean? That one you could not have said a while back.
So things are, the ground is shifting.
Raila Amolo Odinga is now the common thing that we are picking from the ground.
Right.
We are telling our people confidently. And the challenge is that we have to tell our people the truth. You see, our governor has stood on that side for this time.
Yeah.
When our leaders in Central or in Mount Kenya it was always easy to go that side for various reasons. For convenience, for example. For convenience. When you hear our leaders talking about the ground, they're listening to the ground. Which other election did you hear leaders listening to the ground? Yeah? Why can't our leaders lead the ground?
Right.
Okay, listen, yes, but guide them.
Offer
exactly.
guidance.
Yeah. So,
Michael, we thank you very much for joining us.